Is there anything good coming out? Oh, there is? Well, looks like we should do a gamer guide. Hey everybody, it's me, Matt Barnette. This is Gamer Guide on the Daily Crate. It's our new home. And we're gonna be doing a lot more stuff here, a lot longer stuff here, and hoping to pack a lot more awesomeness with games, gadgets, cool stuff. Microsoft Studios burst right out of the gate with Gears of War 4, which is, just let me skip the whole review. If you're on the fence about getting Gears of War 4, get off the fence, buy it. It's incredible. This is the 5th game in the series, 4th in title, preceded by Gears of War Judgment, featuring Barrett and Cole as the main protagonist, which was also awesome. What's cool and ballsy about this is it jumps 25 years in the future, and you get to meet JD Phoenix, who is Marcus, the star of the first 3 games. It's Marcus's son, his best friend Dell, and their female companion, who I'll just let the game kind of explain who that is. They start off with the worst nightmare that you could have imagined, from the Cogs being victorious when they won in the battle against the Locust. Because basically the COG, in an effort to go completely safe and protect their people from being attacked again, to have another disaster like this again, go the complete fortification route and become a fascist dictatorship. So now there's a group of people, the Outliners or Outsiders, who are anti-COG and are in a militant standoff with the leadership of the COG, who appears to be the principal from the MTV show Daria that was on in the 90s. But anyway, she is coming hard against JD and Dell, and they get mixed up in some bad stuff real quick, and they get to go to a big mansion looking for another Phoenix, just like you did with his dad in the original games. You get to look for his dad, Marcus Phoenix, or as the game calls him in multiplayer, Old Man Marcus. And let me tell you, Old Man Marcus might be my favorite video game character ever. There's a line early on when they're at his house and there's an altercation that made me have to pause the game because I was laughing so hard, and it involves his greenhouse and some certain plants that he is growing.
Shit, they're gonna mess up my fucking tomatoes!
Highly entertaining. But the game is incredible. You find more and more weapons as you go through it, just like you do in old Gears games, and some are cool updates to old favorites, some are just old favorites. And there are some cool new additions too that are pretty devastating. You even get to see the Silverback suit eventually. Not for long, but you do. There's a whole lot of really cool elements, a lot of things that you've seen before in games, like in God of War. There's a couple things that you'll look at immediately and go like, oh, that's from God of War 3. And it's really cool in this setting with these characters because you've never had anything happen like that before. The campaign alone is worth the price of admission. I mean, it is beautiful. It's made for 4K. If you've got an Xbox S, this thing is gonna sing off your screen. It looks great on mine, and I've just got regular LED HD. It's a piece de resistance for the Xbox One, and maybe the first truly great game that's come out on that system. So, and if you buy it right now, you get all of the other 4 Gears games along with it as DLC content. So get in there quick so you can get the whole thing if you've never played Gears before, and then you'll go on a wonderful adventure of ducking behind things and shooting stuff in the face. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about Mafia 3. Does it hold up? Is it better than Mafia 2? Does it have the greatest soundtrack in gaming history? I'll cover all these things right after these words. I told you I'd be back right after these words. Okay, so Mafia 3 is a game by 2K that is out now. I've had it for a couple days before you did because I'm special, and holy crap. I liked Mafia 2, but I thought it was a little constricting as far as the things you could do. It felt like you were in a free world, but you were kind of being pushed to where you needed to go. Mafia 3 is not like that at all. You can go as buck wild as you want to, or you can stick to your missions and do some crazy stuff as Vietnam vet Lincoln Clay, who was helping his stepfather fight the Haitians who were trying to take over his neighborhood in New Bordeaux, which is a 60s 2K version of New Orleans. And he gets mixed up with the Haitian mob, and because of that gets into some stuff with the Italian mob, and they do one of the biggest bank heists in history. And then something terrible happens, and now he wants revenge on the Italians, and he's gonna get revenge by hook or by crook. It's by crook. So Lincoln goes on a tear, getting insiders to help him along the way. He's got connections all over the city, and his plan is not just to beat the Italian mob and take back the part of the city they stole from him. He wants to take the entire city and force them to come out so he can take his revenge. And man, this game brings it, both with emotional moments, movie feel to it. The history of New Orleans is really closely dealt with in here, and the city is just a living, breathing, really cool recreation of how it was in the 60s. I'm assuming because I'm not that old yet. Yeah, I'm about halfway through this game so far because I've just been taking the time to like walk around and look at everything. And there's some incredible moments in here. I mean, right off the bat, and once the story really gets going, man, it is just like an emotional roller coaster. You are slamming around the city, messing people up to one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in a video game. I don't know how much they paid through the nose to get a lot of these songs on here, but holy crap. It's got tons of classics from that era, and the radio stations are so good. And if you're a fan of classic music, you can find yourself driving around the city for hours just listening to stuff, because the loops are fairly long on the radio stations. But the graphics are great, the storytelling is great, the acting in the game is amazing. And it's a really, really good game. And I was kind of concerned about it because a lot of the time, if a company that lets people review their games doesn't let reviewers like myself get a hold of them before they come out, you get a little suspect because they're hiding something. They don't want the bad word to get out before the street date because they still have the opportunity on the street date to get some sales from people who weren't watching reviews too closely or don't pay attention to reviews until something's way out. So that's their little window of time to try to make some money on it. And I was concerned about this because, if you don't let somebody see your game, it's typically pretty bad. The one exception to this year so far was Doom. And everyone was worried about it because the beta that they had online was kind of oof. And then it came out and it was incredible. And I was really worried this was going to be the same case with Mafia 3, but then I got my copy the day before it came out and started playing it, and it's incredible. I mean, I was really, really surprised. I had high hopes for this game since I saw the original trailer because the story had a lot of potential to do some really cool things. But yeah, I was worried, and I'm glad they exceeded my expectations on this because it's a really, really cool game, and there's a lot of replayability, ways you can do different things, and I think you'll enjoy it a lot. And those who got the pre-orders get some special cars and weapons and outfits and stuff like that. So if you did pre-order and had faith in it, then fate is smiling on you because you had the trust to pre-order, and now you're getting good stuff along with a great game. So Mafia 3, a definite buy. Or at the very least a rental. I mean, you need to play it regardless of if you buy it or rent it. It's really fun. One of the really cool things about the game is it's kind of done documentary style. There are certain characters in the game that get interviewed, and they're obviously much older than they were in the game. And then you see back to the current time period in the game where they're their younger selves, and you're like, are they talking about him because he's dead? Is that guy in interviews when he's younger because he's dead? And you start trying to piece things together. So they're doing a really good job of kind of keeping you in the dark as far as outcomes of things or where stuff might be going. There's a lot of cool story beats that you think something's going to go one way and then it just goes completely sideways. So there's been a lot of attention paid to culture of the time, the way people treated other people, and they warned you right off the top of the game that a lot of the racist stuff in the game is completely abhorrent to them, but they felt they would be remiss if they didn't refer to it in the proper context, just like it happened in that time. So I think it's brave of them to do that. I commend them for doing that, and it has a real sense of realism just because of that. Because as Lincoln, you know, you're an African-American male and you're walking around, you know, in the 60s, you just got back from Vietnam, and people treat you like crap. They treat you like crap because you're a veteran. They treat you like crap because you're a black guy. They're treating you badly, and that's a mirror of the time. He was in the South, the deep South, and there's some Dixie Mafia guys that are working with the Italians, and you know, they're as racist as can be. And you know, there's a certain sense of redemption when you can take those dudes out. So that's kind of fun too. So if you want to go beat up some Klansmen and some racists in the game too, you know, that's also a fun add to the game. It's kind of like playing Wolfenstein where you're like, this is fine, I'm killing Nazis. Same thing here, it's just Klan members. So that's a fun, albeit weird element to the gameplay. But yeah, Mafia 3, excellent game. Gears of War 4, amazing. Get both of these games, they're really cool. And check out all the Loot Crate stuff that I showed you today. They sell some of the previous boxes if they haven't sold out on lootcrate.com, or you can go to lootcrate.com and start subscriptions today and see what comes next month. If you want to see more of this stuff, you can subscribe on our YouTube channel, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click right there. Or you can follow us on gamerguide.club, which is our website, or you can see us on Facebook, Gamer Guide Club, or you can follow me on Twitter, and I'll tweet about all the stuff I do, every single thing I do, at Matt Barnette. So be social for once in your life. Follow us on everything. Anyway, I'm Matt Barnette. This is Gamer Guide on the Daily Crate. We'll see you next time. Bye.